I'm a little late to the party on this one, but it has been a month since I released a video, so I'm a little out of the routine, but I wanted to make something. Finally, after all this time, the silence from the developers of The Division 2 has broken. On the 31st of March, this tweet came out. Today, we have an important update from the Division 2 development team to share with you. It goes on to talk about Season 9, the first season of Year 4. And while they aren't giving a date yet, they announced a PTS for the update that starts, well, now, or a day or so ago to be fair. If you weren't aware, PTS stands for Public Test Server. The developers use this as a way to test the updates before anything goes live in the main game, a test version of the game. After receiving player feedback, this gives them the opportunity to tweak, adjust, or fix anything that isn't working as intended. Given how long it's been, I would say that there will be a lot more people jumping into this PTS than normal. If you are wanting to give this a go, you can find the download in Ubisoft Connect right below your games. Unfortunately, this is PC only due to the limitations with Xbox and Sony and their upload process. The PTS is coming in 3 phases. Phase 1, Countdown and Expertise. Phase 2, New Gear and Balance Adjustments. Phase 3, all of the above, plus bug fixes following Phase 1 and 2. Currently, we are in Phase 1, playing through the new game mode, Countdown, and trying out the new Expertise leveling system. I'm going to cover this a bit more in another video, where I'll give my experience and thoughts, that I should have out in the next day or so. But I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of what the game mode is all about. However, some of the footage is being played in the background right now. Countdown is a new 8-player PvE in-game mode. 2 cells of 4 SHD agents are deployed at a power plant to prevent a lockdown. There is a 15-minute timer that the agents are working against, where they need to secure the site before it's too late. When a couple of objectives have been completed, the agents can then extract, but this is where a familiar enemy makes themselves known, the Hunters. While Countdown is intended for 8 players, and there is matchmaking, you can start with a smaller group and even run it solo. However, there isn't any scaling down for smaller teams. You will still be taking on the same difficulty and number of enemies. I covered how Expertise will work in a previous video that I will link in the description, and it should be in the top right of the screen right now. I'm pretty sure I get extra YouTube points for linking and referencing my own videos, so I'm just going to pat myself on the back for that one. Expertise is another progression system outside of the SHD levels, and it also provides a way to further customize your builds for even greater build diversity. Some may not think so, but build diversity is one of the key features of the Division that makes it unique. I would say that the bulk of you out there who play this game, for the most part, is because of the large number of options you have when kitting out your character. Otherwise you'd just be playing any old third-person shooter, like Heartlands is unfortunately looking like it could become. Even meta builds can be countered, you just need to think outside of the box. Basically anything that adds build diversity is only a good thing for the Division. With the Expertise system, through leveling the weapons and gear that you use, you can improve the performance of select items. Reading exactly what they stated, this feature is composed of 2 types of progression systems, the Expertise level and the Proficiency rank. Each eligible item has a Proficiency rank, which can be increased either through donations or kill XP. Only when an item reaches the highest Proficiency rank possible will the agent become proficient with it, and be able to increase the grade of the individual items of that type. Each type has the same amount of Proficiency ranks. Additionally, each agent has a unique Expertise level, which increases as the Proficiency ranks are gained in more item types. Summing up, weapons, gear, and skills now have a new ranking system that we can level up through using them in normal gameplay. Leveling up items will increase your overall Expertise level, in turn granting you something that you can use to increase the base stats of an item of your choosing. Again, check out my video, I feel like I explained it far more clearly. This update will also be coming with a bunch of new gear and weapons. Now, I don't want to just sit here and read from a page that I could just direct you towards, I don't think that's why you're here. But I will point out one of the ones that intrigues me. Catharsis, Exotic Mask. Talent, Vicious Cycle. Taking damage stacks to a cap of 30. Each stack gains 1% weapon damage. Taking damage at max stacks triggers a purge, removing all stacks and status effects. Then dropping a healing cloud, which restores 5% of max armor for 10 seconds to all allies in the cloud. I can see this being potentially quite useful, especially with the new Countdown game mode. I'll post a link to all of the new gear and weapons in the description. However, if for some reason you did want to read through them on a YouTube video, I'll display them on screen now. accompanied by the sound of a young child playing a recorder. As expected, this update will also feature a number of balancing and gameplay adjustments. Like the new gear and weapons, you can find a list of these using the same link in the description, but I would like to point out that there has been a considerable amount of focus on shields. The developers have recognised how unbalanced they have been for quite some time now, and that they have been considered a requirement in both PvE and PvP. So the way some talents now interact with shields, like InSync and Intimidate, have been considerably reduced or removed. A good move in my opinion. It has been a long time since we've seen any updates to The Division, so regardless of what you think of what I've just briefly run through, this is a good thing to see some love being put into the game. I will however say that none of this is what makes me so excited for the next 12 months. It's not that I haven't enjoyed what I've seen so far, but that there is more to the story. When I first heard that there is a new game mode being created, and some adjustments and balancing going on, it didn't really fulfill me with hope that the franchise I love had any future, just that it was getting a small update. However, after Yannick, the creative director of The Division 2, posted this up on Twitter. Yes, I am just going to read this out because I think it's important to hear. Agents, before we all jump on the PTS, there's something I'd like you to keep in mind. The year we've spent working on the game in silence was not spent making one gigantic comeback update. It was spent organising and preparing for continuous support of the game. The importance of this update is not in its size, but in it heralding a return to normal, with more to come after that. If this update doesn't contain the changes or content you were hoping for, just remember that there are more updates coming throughout the year. For now, I hope we can all share a happy moment and rejoice that support for the game is resuming. We're live again. So this is potentially just the first of many updates we'll be seeing. As we know, support for the game was supposed to end quite some time ago, with no knowledge on whether we'd be seeing any sort of addition to the franchise. While I'm happy with what I'm seeing so far from the PTS, continued support for the foreseeable future is far greater news to me. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up. Apologies there's been such a drought in uploads from me in the last month or so. Real life has been throwing some very interesting things my way as of recently, and I've struggled to find the time. But I plan on putting some extra effort going forward. I've really been missing the creative outlet. So once again, thank you very much for watching if you made it this far, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!